Hello student, welcome to my class. Today I am going to take class 11 geography. The book name is Fundamental of Physical Geography. It is chapter 5 and the name of the chapter is Minerals and Rocks. So basically in this chapter you are going to read about minerals and rocks. So you are going to read in this chapter the types of minerals, the physical properties of minerals. You are going to study about the types of rock, the subtypes of rock and about the rock cycle. So let's proceed. First and foremost, we are going to deal with minerals. So as you know, the earth is made up of many elements and some elements are formed on the top of the earth, which is earth crust, that is in the solid form, and some are found below the crust, which is in the molten form. And this crust is 98% of the crust is mostly made up of 8 elements, and those elements are oxygen, silicon, aluminium, iron, calcium, sodium, potassium and magnesium. And generally these elements are found in a combined form, means 2 and more elements combine and form a substance, but sometimes exclusively they can found in a single form also, but it is very rare. But mostly they are found in a combined form and they make a substance called minerals. This element combine and make a substance called minerals. So if you are asked to give a definition of mineral, you can say that minerals are those substances which can be organic or inorganic also, and they have a definite atomic structure, a definite chemical composition and some physical property. So mostly, as I told you, that minerals are formed in the combined form, but sometimes they are found in a single element also, like gold, silver and graphites are found in the single element minerals. Mostly there are around 2000 types of minerals present in this earth, but they are basically grouped into 6 categories. The basic source of minerals are hot magma. So out of magma only many minerals are formed, because this magma when came out from the earth, they cool down and they source the crystals of minerals on them. And you know this, as I told you, that minerals can be organic and can be inorganic also. The examples of organic minerals are coal, petroleum and natural gas, in which the coal is formed in a solid form and petroleum in the liquid, and natural gas is in the gaseous form. So you find the organic mineral in all the state of matter. Now we are going to see the physical characteristic of minerals. About the physical characteristic of minerals, you can see that the minerals have a definite crystal form. Means there will be an orderly internal arrangement of the molecules in the minerals, and this arrangement can be in the cubic form or in the hexagonal prism form or any such form. They will definitely have a crystal form. Cleavage is the second property of minerals. Cleavage means breaking of the minerals. The minerals do break, and it breaks where the arrangement of the molecules are not strong. There only they will show the breaking. And when the minerals break, when the mineral fracture or break, then they don't break in a regular shape. Like if you are breaking a square, it will not break into two perfect rectangle. It will break in a irregular shape. Minerals also have some luster, it has some shining, and this shining can be in the form of metallic, silky or glossy. Now another physical properties of minerals are its color. So mineral do show you some colors, and this color is actually decided by the molecular structure of the minerals. Alright, because when the light fall on the minerals, so you know the light is made up of many colors, right? So when the light fall on the minerals, some colors of light is observed by the minerals and some are reflected back in the atmosphere, and the color which is reflected back, that becomes the color of the minerals. So basically what is deciding the color of the minerals? It is decided by the molecular structure of that mineral, because molecular structure only decide what color to absorb and what to reflect back. And the another quality of mineral is its stick. Stick is when you grind the minerals into the powder form, and when you grind the minerals in the powder form, it can change its color also, because the color of a mineral when it is not grounded, it is not grind or made into stick, then it has a definite molecular structure, and that molecular structure is broken when you grind the minerals. All right. So when the molecular structure is broken, and because the molecular structure shows the color of the object, so when the molecular structure is broken, so the color of the mineral can also change when it turns into stick in the powder form. And as for example, the fluoride is actually in purple or green color, but when you make it stick, it look like white color. Another quality of mineral is its transparency. See, minerals can be transparent, translucent, or it can be opaque. Transparent means it allows light to fully pass away from it. Transparency is transparent is allowing full light to pass away through it. Translucent does allow a part of light to pass through it, and opaque object does not allow light to pass through it. So a minerals can have this quality. It can be transparent, it can be translucent, or it can be opaque also. The structure of the mineral is another physical characteristic of the minerals. As crystal of the minerals occur in various shapes and sizes, so you can have a definite structure of that minerals, and this structure of the mineral is mostly decided by the molecules joined in that minerals. How the molecules are joined in that minerals, that decide the structure of that minerals. So let's see the another quality and characteristic of the minerals is another characteristic of the mineral is its hardness. So you can measure the hardness of the minerals also. The hardness of the minerals are measured on the scale of 1 to 10, and the hardness is actually how much resistance power mineral have to the scratching. If you do scratching on the minerals, does it scratch very fast or it take time? That decide the hardness of the minerals. So on the basis of hardness, there are some soft rock like talc, and there are some hard rock like diamond. So there are different types of rock on the basis of hardness, and this hard rock also have the capacity to do the scratching in the soft rock also. Another quality or physical characteristic of mineral is its specific gravity, which can be find out with the formula of weight of minerals divided by weight of equal volume of water, where the weight of equal volume of water is equal to weight of minerals in the air minus weight of minerals in the water. So with this formula, you can find out the specific gravity of the minerals, and this also help you to understand the physical characteristic of the mineral. So this way you can understand all the physical characteristic of the mineral, and understanding the physical characteristic of the mineral is quite important because these minerals are used in day-to-day life. They are being used from food to the building. So minerals are used to a big extent, and when you understand the physical characteristic of mineral, then only you can put the mineral in a proper use. Now with this mineral, we are now going to see the types of minerals. So minerals can be classified into two categories, that is metallic mineral and non-metallic mineral. Metallic minerals have the metal in it. It can be a precious metal like gold, silver and platinum, and metallic mineral is actually of two types. The two subtypes of metallic minerals are ferrous mineral and non-ferrous mineral. So ferrous mineral have the iron content in it like steel, and non-ferrous mineral does not have iron content in it like your copper, lead, zinc, etc. Non-metallic minerals, under non-metallic minerals, first of all, these are those minerals which does not have metal content on it, and its example can be sulfur, phosphate, nitrate, cement, because cement is also a mixture of non-metallic minerals. With the completion of mineral, let's move to the rocks. Now we will study about the rock. As you know, the earth is composed of many types of rock, and this rock is containing many minerals. It can contain one or more than one mineral in it. And this rocks can be hard rock, and it can also be a soft rock. The example of hard rock is granite, and the example of soft rock is soft stone. These minerals also have many colors, as you know, and its color can vary from many types of colors it have actually. Like for example, gabbro is in a black color, and quartzite is in milky white color. The petrology is the subject which study the rocks, and petrologists are the people who study the rock. So when the study of rock is called petrology, and the people who used to study the rocks are called petrologists. And the rock is very important, because all the landforms are made up of rock. Your soil is made out of the rock. So the knowledge of rock is very important for anybody. Alright. And that's why we are going to study about the rock. First and foremost, we are going to see the types of rock. There are 3 types of rock: sedimentary, metamorphic and igneous rock. So first let's start with igneous rock. It is formed with the solidification of lava. So basically when the lava comes out from the volcano and it turns into solid form, then it forms a rock, and that rock is called igneous rock. And this is also called primary rock because it is made out of the material which is coming from inside the earth, and that's why it's called primary rock. It has came out from the word ignis, which means fire, and it is of actually 2 types: intrusive igneous rock and extrusive igneous rock. So let's see the difference between intrusive and extrusive igneous rock. Intrusive igneous rock solidified inside the crust, and extrusive igneous rock solidified outside the crust. And this intrusive igneous rock actually cool very slowly because the temperature inside is very high, whereas the extrusive igneous rock cool fast compared to intrusive igneous rock, because the temperature on the surface of the earth is much lesser than the temperature inside. And because it cools slowly, so it have very large grain and large in size also. It is very large in its particles are very large in size, and it's also have a very large size of rocks are formed out of intrusive igneous rock. Whereas extrusive igneous rock, they have smooth grains. Their particles are very smooth and small, and the sizes of the rocks of extrusive igneous rock is also very small. The example of intrusive igneous rock can be gabbro, granite, etc., whereas the example of extrusive igneous rock can be basalt and other. Now after the igneous rock, let's study about the sedimentary rock. This has come from the word sedimentum, which means setting, and it is actually the rock when the rocks are eroded with the erosional agent, and then they are transported. The fragments which come out of the erosion, they are transported and deposited in some place, and then it is compressed, and then it turns into rock, and such rocks are called metamorphic rock. So all this process of eroding the rocks with the erosional agent, then the fragments are carried, and then they are transferred and deposited in one place, and then it is compressed. All this process is called lithification. And in the lithification, the layer of sedimentary rocks are formed. And example of sedimentary rock can be sandstone, shale, etc. Now let's see the various types of sedimentary rock. So first one is mechanically formed, second is chemically, and third is organically formed sedimentary rock. So first let's see mechanically formed sedimentary rock. Mostly the sedimentary rocks, when they are formed in a natural way, like agent is eroding the material, then fragments are carried and deposited and compressed. In this natural way, when the rocks are formed, then it is called mechanically formed sedimentary rock. And its example can be limestone and sandstone. You can also have the organically formed sedimentary rock. In this, what happens? You have the organic matter in the rocks, like leaves and plant, etc. And its example can be coal, limestone, and other. And you also have the chemically formed limestone. And in this, what happens? The precipitation, the water mixes with the other materials. So when the water mixes, because of the mixing of the water, the substance, the minerals changes its form, and its chemical composition also changes with the mixing of water. And sometimes the solid is coming out of the solution, then also the chemical composition changes. So when the rock is formed with the changes in the chemical composition, those types of rocks are called actually sedimentary rocks are chemically formed. And its example can be halite. Now after this, let's see under the metamorphic rock that about the metamorphic rock. We have already seen the igneous rock, we have seen the sedimentary rock. Now let's see the metamorphic rock. Metamorphic means to change its form. Whenever anybody changes its form, it is called metamorphic. And the rock changes its form because of the pressure, volume and the temperature. Sometimes what happens, sometimes the rocks, sometimes two plates are converging with each other and one plate goes down and another plate goes above it. So the plate which has gone down, no, they will have lot of temperature and pressure, because the pressure will be there from the overlying rock and the temperature is down inside the earth, right? So when the hot magma is putting lot of temperature on the rock and you have the pressure on that rock from the overlying rocks, the rocks which are above it. So under this high temperature and pressure, the rock changes its form. It get recrystallized, it get reorganized itself, and such rocks are called actually metamorphic rock. And such process is called, this whole process is called metamorphism. And this metamorphism process is actually of two types, dynamic and thermal. So what is dynamic metamorphism and what is thermal metamorphism, we will see. First we see the dynamic metamorphism. In this, the chemical, you don't have any chemical change. Here the rocks are formed without any chemical change. Whereas in the thermal metamorphism, you have the chemical alteration, the chemical properties changes. And it is also of two types. The thermal metamorphism is of two types. One is contact metamorphism and another one is regional metamorphism. So let's see the type of thermal metamorphism. And first one, let's see contact metamorphism. In this, what happened? The rocks comes in contact with the magma, the hot lava. And then this lava and magma actually mixes with the rock and turn into another kind of rock with its changed chemical composition. Whereas in the regional metamorphism, the magma is there in the nearby region and it's putting its heat in the rock, but it's not mixing up with the rock. And then the rock is formed, and such rocks are called regional metamorphism of rock. So in this metamorphism process, what is happening? The layers are being formed, and these layers are called foliation or lineation. So the layers are being formed when the metamorphism process is going on, and there are two types of metamorphic rocks which are formed when the lots of heat and pressures are put, and they are formed in a two way. One is foliated metamorphic rock and another one is non-foliated metamorphic rock. Foliated metamorphic rocks are the rocks which have layer, and non-foliated metamorphic rock does not have layer. So sometimes these layers are visible in a thin and thick layer. Some layers are thinner, some layers are thicker, because they are made up of different types of layer, and also the color of the layer is different. Some have the light color shading and some have the dark color shading, and this process is called actually banding, and such rocks, the rocks which is formed out of it, is called banded rock. Now let's see about the rock cycle. This is the last topic of your chapter. Rock cycle is going on transformation. The cycle means it's showing that the one rock is changing into another rock, then another rock is changing to another rock, and this rock cycle is continuous. It's going on changing. Many times the rock turns into another form, and this process goes on and on. See, sometimes what happens, the igneous and metamorphic rock are eroded. The erosional agent erode them and transfer their material and deposit it into one place, and when this material are compressed, they turn into a sedimentary rock. So in this way, igneous rock and metamorphic rock can be turned into sedimentary rock. Same way, metamorphic and sedimentary rock can turn into igneous rock. Like if you put the metamorphic rock and sedimentary rock is put forced downward, down below the earth crust, then they will turn into molten form, into lava, and then this lava will come out and get solidified, then it will turn into igneous rock. So this is what this statement is showing, that metamorphic and sedimentary rock can also be converted into igneous rock. Now the third way of rock cycle is when igneous and sedimentary rock turn into metamorphic rock. See, igneous and sedimentary rock, when they are put in lot of heat and pressure, they turn its crystal arrangement, they reorganize themselves, the changes come in the rock, and such rocks are called metamorphic rock. So in this way, as you see that igneous and metamorphic can turn into sedimentary, metamorphic and sedimentary can turn into igneous, or igneous and sedimentary can turn into metamorphic. So one rock is changing into another rock and another rock into another rock, and this process is going on, and this is what called rock cycle. So this is the diagram of the rock cycle. If you draw this diagram, you can enhance the value of your answer. So do learn this diagram also, which is a beautiful diagram to explain the rock cycle. And that's all for you in this chapter. I hope you like this chapter explanation. Please like, share and subscribe my channel MP Social View. Thanks students, thanks for watching, and happy learning.